Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Welcome to the Full Hundreds. Today, the 25th of August, 2020, and we have a pretty sad show for me, in my opinion. The fact that we have two situations I'm bringing to you guys today, which shows the endless fight that we have as black people or people of color, fighting racism and supremacy in the white community. Guys, without further ado, let's get to today's show. His name is Jacob Blake, and he is now crippled. His name is Jacob Blake. Remember that name. We will be adding his name to the long list of names that if we went back only 50 years, I'll be here for the next hours on end calling their names. Jacob Blake is the individual who was shot 7 times in the back yesterday. While we're busy marching and busy fighting our cause, there are still police officers and people of authority who still condone that behavior. Police officers who are still happy to behave that way, grabbing someone by the shirt and shooting them at point blank range 7 times. When we've all seen videos of white guys wrestling and tussling with police officers, taking their guns and ending up making it alive out of that situation, and only ending up, never mind what sentences, but I've brought you guys someone who ended up with probation, not even prison, because of white privilege. Guys, my first video today is to update you on the story of Jacob Blake and what happened yesterday. Please take a look.
Breaking overnight, no real answers, no real explanation for the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We're seeing the aftermath this morning of a night of protest there. The National Guard has now been called in. Sarah Sinder spoke with Blake's uncle. She joins us live from Kenosha with the very latest. Sarah, what did you learn?
John, tonight, or actually this morning, quiet, but there were peaceful protests in the day, which devolved into burning buildings at night. There were several buildings set ablaze, including a probation office, a store that sells furniture, and a restaurant. We watched several cars go up in flames as well. Police and protesters squared off here right out in front of the courthouse, with protesters sending fireworks towards a police line, police responding with tear gas. Were so angered, frustrated, upset, and distraught over this horrific video that they watched of Jacob Blake being shot 7 times, mostly in the back. But we were able to sit down with Jacob Blake's uncle. Justin Blake sat and talked with us about the phone call that the family received that their son and their family member had been shot.
This is like all the black parents talk about. It's that phone call you don't want to get. And we got it. So you have to sort of be strong for each other. Let your faith lead the way. And so after talking to his mother, she and my brother are asking people in Kenosha and around this nation to protest. But protest non-violently. We want justice, and we're going to get justice. We're going to demand justice, but we're going to do that without tearing up our own communities.
What did he say to you when you first talked to him?
That it was going to be all right. And it is, for a great recovery, that he may have a great quality of life, and that his father, my brother, can enjoy him.
What is your biggest worry for the health of Jacob, who has lived through being shot 7 times?
He's a hell of a young man. He's strong. He's a Blake. He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Jacob is now disabled. It wasn't on that clip. However, just before coming on, it's 6:15 now, UK time. And just before coming on, literally about 45 minutes ago, we got the update that he's now disabled, but still alive. For what? Guys, even the sports people are seeing, they're kicking back now. This can't be allowed to keep happening. And this is happening while the Republicans who support this type of behavior from the police and don't see anything wrong with it, are having a party conference right now, their party convention, to validate Trump as the person they're putting forward to run for president a second time. And if you listen to many of their conversations, many of their speeches, they don't think there's any racism in America. And that's what's wrong with the world. When there are still people that can see that, know that they never ever see that happen with a white person, but yet can still say it's not racism. So listen to LeBron James, people, and I'll see you on the other side.
To focus on just the basketball. The NBA is well known as a progressive sports league where players are encouraged to speak out on social issues. And after the shocking police shooting of Jacob Blake in Wisconsin on Sunday, LeBron James did not hold back.
Quite frankly, it's just up in our community. And I know people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared as black people in America. Black men, black women, black kids, we are terrified. If you're sitting here telling me that there was no way to subdue that gentleman, or detain him, or to just before the firing of guns, then you sitting here, you lying to not only me, you lying to every African American, every black person in the community.
I'd just like to say, I am scooting over to another video now, which is in New Zealand, just to remind you guys what this video is about. Many of you remember the mosque massacres and the Muslims who were massacred in New Zealand by an Australian citizen. This situation a couple of years ago is what brought Jacinda Ardern to my attention as a world leader. We've seen Muslims killed in many countries, or Jewish people of other people of color, and the way that this lady reacted and how empathetic she was, and bans the press from ever mentioning this guy's name so he doesn't get known, which is what many of them seek. Just the whole way she handled it was very impressive. Well, this guy's now pleaded guilty and he's now in court. He's going through his sentencing. So this video is a quick reminder how much we are under attack. How much we are under attack from white supremacy across the world. This Australian person, do you know why he did it? I mean, his reason for doing it is that his own country in Australia, they've got it sorted. They got the immigrant situation sorted. This is what he's saying. This is his belief. That in Australia, we don't have an immigration situation where immigrants are given a voice. So Australia's fine. But here in New Zealand, where I'm living, is his thinking, why aren't you guys putting down your immigrants? Why are you guys giving Muslims the time of day? Why are you guys not killing? Basically, he wants to live in a country where immigrants are done as slaves and as done in the worst way possible. And because he was living in a country like New Zealand and he didn't like how united the nation was and how together the nation was. And so this is a recap, the first and the last time this guy will ever feature on my platform, of the update on that situation. And I'll see you guys on the other side.
New Zealand survivors of the Christchurch mosque shootings have shared harrowing stories during the gunman's trial. It was the first day of a 4-day sentencing hearing for Brenton Tarrant. He faces life in prison. Tarrant stands convicted over the shootings in March last year, which killed 51 people. The mass murderer targeted the Al Noor Mosque and Linwood Islamic Center. He pleaded guilty to murder and terror charges. As a result of Tarrant's actions, most semi-automatic weapons are now banned in New Zealand. All right, let's bring in senior international correspondent Ivan Watson, who's following the story from Hong Kong, hearing from all those families of victims, addressing the gunman, just heartrending. You've been following this for us. What can you tell us?
Well, you have to remember back to March 15th of last year. It was, as some New Zealanders described it to me later, like New Zealand's own 9/11, the deadliest terror attack in the country's modern history, with 51 people killed and dozens more, some of them terribly wounded. So the chief suspect here, Brenton Tarrant, has confessed to the 51 murders, to committing an act of terror and attempted murders as well. And
I'd just like to say, to recap on that video, for people like Tommy Robinson, for people like Katie Hopkins, for all of the right-wing idiots that I get come on my platform and give their opinion, I value your opinions. You're muppets, but I do value your opinions, so keep them coming. But for those people, understand that we don't go out to march to protect statues. If you decided to want to take down Nelson Mandela's statue tomorrow, it's not something that we come out to march about. Understand that we do not come out to march because people tell us to wear masks. We don't come out to march because they're trying to get us to social distance and take our guns up the city hall because people are asking us to social distance. Black people don't do that. We don't come out to march because we think our country is under attack by immigrants. We don't. We come out to march when we're treated like dogs. We come out to march when we're shot like animals. We come out to march when you put your knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes, near enough. Something that these same people would attack you if they saw you doing that to a dog. But you do that to a black person and you march about it and you piss them off. However it happens, it's got to stop. I want to move on now, guys, to Trump and some miracle cure rubbish that he's now pushing. That not even Anthony Fauci is backing him, his own top doctor, the government's top doctor, who he likes to deface and who he likes to demean, and these guys and his people. So he's decided that the night before, so the convention started last night, Monday, and on Sunday he announced a treatment, a convalescent plasma treatment. So I'll tell you what that means basically, or most of you know, but basically it's the sort of treatment for any kind of illness where you take blood, plasma, from someone who's already got it and now has some immune to it, and then you feed it into another person to save them or to cure the ailment that they're going through. So basically he's fast-tracked the FDA to license this drug, this convalescent plasma treatment thing. But the coincidence is that this guy has released this a day before his convention. His whole thing is to win an election. His thing is not about curing people. This is a guy that suggested to inject insecticide, disinfectant and UV put into bodies. This guy he saw that he was wrong, and after he called this a hoax, he saw that he was wrong. All he's done is try and tell you what you should take to treat it, just like a snake oil salesman. Okay, so the day before his convention, he's announced another one. Now, take a look at the video that starts with how much other treatments he's trying to sell you, and now he's selling you this. So take a look at this video, guys.
His response to the hydroxy. That's a game changer if that's the case. Here's my evidence. I get a lot of positive calls about it. What do you have to lose? Take it. If things don't go as planned, it's not going to kill anybody. Then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
For the convention, President Trump announced that the FDA has given emergency authorization for the use of convalescent plasma to treat coronavirus. But some experts, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, say it has not been adequately tested.
Hours away from the start of the Republican National Convention, and ahead of that, U.S. President Donald Trump is touting what he calls a powerful therapy to treat COVID-19 patients. He's talking about convalescent plasma, and it's now been given as an emergency use authorization by the FDA, though many question whether there's enough data to support its use.
The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization, and that's such a powerful term, emergency use authorization for a treatment known as convalescent plasma. This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection.
We've come to the end of the show now. Let's just keep fighting is all I really have to say. Let's just keep fighting. And those of you who think or not woken yet, what will it take to wake you? Will it take the police killing one of your family members maybe? Don't let it wait. Don't wait till then. Wake the hell up and join us on the 30th of August from Notting Hill to Hyde Park and show your feelings, show your support, and get behind initiatives that we have going at the moment that can change all of our lives into the next generations and beyond. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.